and looked really good doing it. I don't buy into the whole, sea level Kane versus high altitude thing. I mean, if that was a problem, that's on him. Yep. I don't think anything's going to change if they go down in altitude. I mean, Verdum was at the same altitude as him. As far as Stipe Miocic and what he brings to the table, it's a different skill set. But I mean, I'm still going to lean towards Verdum having the edge in striking, and of course, he has the edge on the ground. So, I think it's going to be tougher than the Kane fight would have been, the rematch. But I'm still going to lean Verdum. Biggest thing about these heavyweights, man, is we know how volatile the sport can be with these small gloves and everything changing on one punch, or one takedown goes wrong. But it's magnified times 100 in the heavyweight division. Yeah. I love the Arlovski-Overeem fight. I really would like to see Overeem. I think he does get past Arlovski. Arlovski's very hit and miss. I mean, for his comeback later in his career, he's still very suspect at times. I mean, you can look at the Mir fight and how some of these other high level strikers have dealt with Mir quickly, and he's very hesitant in that fight and never really got anything going. Overeem looked great in his last fight with Diaz and so disciplined and waiting on his punches and really making them count with the JDS fight. So, I mean, I'd like to see Overeem. I think a lot of us old school guys remember watching him in K1 and doing his thing over in Japan and big muscled up dude. He has some charisma, and all the PED stuff aside, he's looked really good lately. Yep. And I think he's come back well from the losses that he did have in the UFC, and I'd like to see him get in there. Another guy I really like is Ben Rothwell, who is fighting Junior Dos Santos coming up, and I think I don't know if he's going to get past Dos Santos. Dos Santos, I think those wars with Kane has taken his toll on him, and I don't think for every time he looks good, kind of like Arlovski, every time he looks great, he has another fight where he doesn't look so great. I love Ben Rothwell and his character and the big laugh and how he's making himself more marketable. I'd like to see him in the mix too. And it can't be overstated enough that the heavyweight title's never been defended 3 times in a row. Verdum's not going to be the first guy to do it, and so whoever does get a shot has a very viable chance of taking that title. Anything can happen, so I think it's exciting, man. I'm really psyched up for it.
Definitely, yeah, exciting times. Brian, same question to you, sir. Yeah, I guess you could argue that the heavyweight division it's probably looking as good as it ever has in the UFC. What's your predictions for the title and ideal contenders?
Kevin pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. No, I mean, you said it well, man, really. You said it well, man. Well said. But I agree with him, too, on the Overeem thing, man. Going way back, Overeem, I think he brings lots of good stuff today because these last couple fights, he's more tentative. He's not in there rushing, trying to, take it to the guy. He's a little more calculated, I guess is the word.
That is, yep.
And I love that about him because I think it's a much better approach. He doesn't have his chin out there ready for somebody to take advantage of so quickly. So and it's a mystery for the guy that he's fighting. So I'd like to see him get it as well. Get at least in title contention. Maybe him and Ben Rothwell down the road would be kind of a good fight too. Same with I agree with you on Ben Rothwell too, man. I'm a big fan of his. I think JDS, I don't know what to think about him lately, man, because I think his chin is very suspect now. I think it's kind of he's won too many beatings, man, from Kane. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that and probably the Mark Hunt fight as well, and when the distance Miocic. Yeah, it's probably eroded more now than it's ever been, and yeah, I've got to agree that JDS. I would love to see it. When he was knocking out Verdum and when he KO'd Kane, I would love to see that guy back, but. Oh, if he's on the receiving end of one of the punches he throws, he's going down. That's the problem with JDS. Yeah. What about the title fight? What's your predictions for Verdum Miocic? Who are you picking there?
Yeah, that's really rough, man. Because Miocic is got a really, championship, champion boxer. So he brings an interesting game for Verdum, but I got to agree with Kevin again. It's like I just don't see him, outdoing a Verdum, and Verdum with the Muay Thai knees and just everything he brings, especially the groundwork, is just going to kill I shouldn't say kill a Miocic, but the guy could land a submission. The guy could land a submission in midair. I mean, like we saw him do with Kane. I mean, the submission was in before he even hit the ground. So I mean, the guy's a sick expert with it. But yeah, I think a title. I'm going to have to go with Verdum, but I think it could be anybody's game. It's just like you're saying with heavyweight, man. Title can change hands every single time, as far as I'm concerned. It's so stacked right now.
That's what's so exciting about the division. Yes, it can just end in the blink of an eye. But finally, Adri, I'll come to yourself, sir. What do you make? Is Verdum reigning for a while? Is Miocic going to be the new champion? And who would you like to see emerge as the next number one contender?
Just like the other guys, I don't think Miocic gonna take the title. Verdum gonna steamroll over Miocic, I think. Yes, Miocic is good standing up, but Verdum is also good standing up, and his BJJ is of course world class, and so yeah, I think it's Verdum by round whatever. Slaughter gonna win. And for the next number one contender, like you said, John, it's gonna be a mini tournament for it. Whether the Overeem Arlovski fight, I think in Holland,
that's right,
and the JDS against Ben Rothwell fight, we'll see how that plays out, and whoever wins better at that, whoever wins more impressively in those two fights, I think it's going to be the next number one contender for Verdum.
As I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest highlights of the press conference was John Jones and Daniel Cormier. And I don't know about you guys, but Jones, I mean, he's really in DC's head, it seems, probably more so now than he was last time. Brian, I'd like to start with you, sir. Who do you see coming out on top with Jones being out for so long? Do you think that plays a factor in him looking to get his title back?
I don't think it does. I think the thing that's rough with John Jones is the only guy to ever really get in there and make it a hard fight for him is a guy that had like just about the same reach as he had, which was Gustafsson. Yeah. And I think, Cormier. It's just he's a little bit of lack of reach going on there. I think John's able to make work out of that, and make it a hard time for Cormier. And to be honest with you, this is probably going to sound rude or something, but there's two guys that I could see disappear, and it wouldn't bother me one bit. I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. I'm not a fan of either one, so it's like but it'll still be a good fight, and it'll be a decision. I don't see either one knocking each other out. It's just going to be a pointing contest, basically. But I see Jones taking it again. I don't think Cormier has his number, so.
Yeah, it's looking tricky for him. I mean, I suppose I'm just kind of reading maybe too much into the trash talk of the mind games or whatever, but I know exactly what you're saying, especially based on the last fight. Jones just had his way with him. Kevin, same question to you, sir. Jones versus DC. Who have you got?
John Jones, hands down, man. It's going to be more brutal than the first time. I'm calling the knockout. As far as the guy personally, man, I think he's pretty entertaining. I try not to get personally attached because I gamble so much. Outside of Rampage Jackson, I really don't try to have an invested interest in any of these guys unless I dislike them like Conor, man. I got invested interest in seeing him go down because I can talk trash about it. But yeah, man, I think whether he's in his head or not, I don't think it's going to matter, dude. I think that we're going to see a different John Jones, a more determined, more aggressive John Jones come out of this deal. He obviously has a severe dislike for Daniel Cormier. That's not going to play well for DC whenever that bell rings. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think he's going to bring it to him a little more and wanting to showcase his skills. I got John Jones all the way, man. I mean, if I could. If the line's decent, I'm gonna bet a boatload of money on him.
Sounds good. Adri, what about yourself? DC versus Jones. Who's walking out the undisputed light heavyweight champion?
I'm gonna go for broke here, and I'm gonna say DC gonna win the championship this time. I'm a huge believer in ring rust. I think the only guy that doesn't get affected by ring rust is Dominic Cruz. But for the rest of the fighters, it's huge. It's a huge thing playing up. DC has been fighting. He has been actively training. Also John Jones, but he took some time off. So I think DC is gonna take this one.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see something different from the last fight, but I've got to concur with Kevin and Brian. I don't see. I think also, the whole weightlifting, powerlifting thing. I mean, Jones obviously is looking massive. He has to naturally cut weight to make this fight, but there's just too much going for Jones in this fight. But I would like to see it. I would like to see DC at least give him, a Gustafsson style fight, someone that challenges him. But anyway, moving on, guys.
Yeah.
Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. I know we're talking about Nate Diaz potentially being the next number one contender, but I do believe that the winner of this fight will get the shot against RDA. I know the Eagle, he's been out obviously for quite a while, but you still can't deny that this guy, if and when he's on, he's the best grappler in the division by far. Tony Ferguson, he's just so exciting. I love to watch him fight. He's on such a wave of momentum just now. I find it hard to argue not to give the winner of this fight the next shot, quite frankly, but I guess that's why you guys are here, gentlemen. You're here with us today to convince me otherwise. So Kevin, I'll start with you. Convince me. The winner surely gets the next title shot, right?
Absolutely. Two words about this for you, John Boy. 2 years. Adri's just talking about ring rust. I'm talking about 2 years of ring rust.
Right.
I don't see the Eagle coming out looking so hot, man. It's going to take him a while to get going, and Ferguson's been killing it lately. Another thing that pops out looking at the resume is 22-0 for Khabib. Only one big name on there as far as I'm concerned, Of course, I mean, the winner has to get... They've been trying to, fast-track Khabib to get this title shot for the last 2 years, and the guy can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson is on fire, man. He has a very... While he's not known to the more casual fans, he has a rabid fan base amongst the hardcore guys. Mm-hmm. And, El Kukui is just that. He's a monster, man. He's on fire right now. I mean, this is going to... The only thing that I think hurts him, I think he does win the fight, and I think the only thing that hurts him is the juice that Nate Diaz got. And, Rafael Dos Anjos is never, I don't think he is ever going to go over with the masses of fans because of his humbleness, because, the things that he says, and he's not going to be outlandish. Mm-hmm. So I think the UFC would really like to have a different guy holding that strap. I mean, they wanted Donald Cerrone to win it so bad they could taste it. They want a guy like that. Yeah. I don't know if El Kukui is the answer, but as far as from an athletic standpoint, I think he poses the greatest risk to Rafael Dos Anjos at this point. But, it's yet to be seen, man. I could be surprised and Khabib could come out there and start out real fast. But I totally don't see it happen. I'm sure Adri would agree with me. But, it's going to be interesting, and we do need some more blood in this lightweight division. It's, it becomes stagnant at the top with these same names over and over. You get Pettis, you got Alvarez. I mean, Alvarez should probably get a title shot at how good he looked in the Pettis fight. There's just a couple guys that really deserve it. And I'd say it's about down to the winner of this one and then Diaz and those three. So, should he deserve a title fight for this win? I think so. If either guy wins, I think that they deserve it. But whether deserve has anything to do with it, money talks. Yeah. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy gets passed up.
Brian, what do you think? Is there a more deserving than the winner of these two?
No, I don't think there's anybody more deserving. Tony Ferguson looks awesome. I mean, his last few fights, if not more. I don't know about the Eagle. I think Nurmagomedov is. I haven't heard a lot about him lately, but I'm convinced the guy has plastic limbs. I think he's going to get injured again. I would not doubt it one bit, but hopefully not. Yeah. So we can actually see how it goes. I would normally kind of weigh in the area of Nurmagomedov, but he's been out so long, and what does that really mean? You know what I mean? I could see what Adri, I could see his point on the long layoffs, and ring rust. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal for him. I do agree with Kevin, though. I think it'll take him a little while to get started, but I'll probably pick him for the win, but there's no telling with Ferguson, man, because Ferguson looked awesome. You know what, dude? I'm gonna pick Ferguson because he's looked so good. He's looked so good. I'm just gonna go with Ferguson because if this guy gets injured that easy in training,